Chapter 7. The Burden of a King. Eryndor stood at his bedroom window, gazing out over the velvet sky. Below, the usual bustle of night-dwelling creatures moved through the castle grounds, tending to their tasks with practiced rhythm. Enchanted fireflies drifted lazily through the air, their soft glow painting the courtyard in shifting gold. Everything appeared calm, but he knew better. A silent storm was gathering in the realm of Crimson Hollow, and he lacked the information needed to even know where to begin looking for its source. Reports had poured in throughout the day, strange calamities, unexplained disturbances, whispers of unrest in places that had known peace for decades. This was no coincidence. The weight of it pressed against his chest, and he exhaled a weary sigh, already dreading what the truth might reveal. He paused, sensing another presence in the room. "You can come out, Tenebrae. It's just us." A lithe, pale figure peeled itself from the shadows, as though the darkness reluctantly released him.
"Am I becoming that predictable, sire?"
Tenebrae asked, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. Eryndor chuckled softly. "No, old friend. I'm simply more alert than usual with all these strange happenings in the Hollow. Tell me you bring good news." He turned slightly to regard the figure fully. Tenebrae Mortis, commander of the Crimson Stalkers, was a sinister sight to behold. Draped in a black hooded cloak, he seemed carved from the very night itself. His steel-gray eyes held an iridescent glow, cold, piercing, impossible to read. Strong, angular features framed his grim expression, and dark hair fell in loose strands along the edges of his face. Beneath the cloak, black and crimson leather armor clung to him like a second skin, stylish, functional, and unmistakably deadly. At his side rested a solitary assassin's dagger, a weapon Eryndor had no doubt Tenebrae could wield with terrifying precision. Well, not a man, exactly. He looked human, but Tenebrae Mortis was something else entirely. An Umbra Wraith. The only one King Valcrest had ever encountered, perhaps the only one in existence. Little was known of such beings, save for the tragedy that birthed them. A soul scarred by profound pain, reshaped into a spirit of vengeance. A creature walking the thin line between life and death, never dying, yet never truly living. Eryndor knew there was a way to break his commander's curse, but the path was tangled, dangerous, and fraught with consequences. And Tenebrae had never shown interest in reclaiming a mortal life. He seemed content, perhaps even at peace, within the Hollow. So, despite many protests from his advisors, Eryndor chose to leave the matter alone. Still, he feared the day would come when he would have to reveal the truth of Tenebrae's nature to the kingdom. But that was a burden for another time. For now, the storm demanded his attention.
"I'm afraid not,"
came Tenebrae's exasperated reply.
"I have the stalkers investigating every possible lead, my lord, but..."
He paused, jaw tightening.
"We are being stretched thin."
Eryndor huffed in irritation. "I know, damn it. All of this is happening so suddenly. I feel helpless to protect my people." He fixed Tenebrae with a sharp look. "Any news of the book?" Tenebrae held his king's gaze for a moment, choosing his words with care.
I have one of my best men tailing Fenric and the prince. He sent word this morning. They were heading toward Archmage Zane's tower. I've received no reports since.
First, the book goes missing, then sightings at the border of the Vale, and now random attacks from whispered creatures, Eryndor muttered. Does this madness have no end?
I hate to be the bearer of more bad news, my lord,
Tenebrae said quietly.
but that is not everything. Your daughter and Lusk were attacked on the road to the farmstead. One of my stalkers reached the site and witnessed the aftermath.
He paused, gauging the king's reaction. "And?" Eryndor snapped.
And, Your Majesty, there was no sign of Lady Floris or Lusk. However, there were several corpses of strange creatures, things I have never seen before in the Hollow.
Eryndor's eyes narrowed. "Did you bring back any of these creatures?"
Yes, sire.
Tenebrae replied calmly.
One of the bodies is in the dungeon for your expert eye to examine.
"Very good. I will see to it after your report. Now, what of my daughter?"
She continued toward the farmstead, it seems.
Tenebrae said.
But this next part may not be easy to hear. There were many of those creatures on their trail.
Eryndor shot him a dangerous look. "And you just left them to their own devices? Preposterous!"
Not exactly, my lord.
Tenebrae said, keeping his tone even.
I could not attend personally. I needed to inform you, but I did send help. Lady Flores is a skilled combatant, especially with the ether bow, and she has Lusk. She will hold her ground, I have no doubt.
For your sake, old friend, I hope you are correct. Eryndor growled. If anything were to happen to her. He trailed off, unable to finish the thought.
I will return when I have more news,
Tenebrae said.
I intend to continue searching for any sign of the book. Above all else, it is the greatest threat to our kingdom.
Eryndor turned back to the window, his expression grim, and gave a silent nod. Tenebrae took it as his cue to leave, but Eryndor had no intention of sitting idle. He strode from his chambers with purpose. There had to be a connection between all these events, and he would find it. As he made his way through the castle halls, attendants and servants bowed graciously. He returned each gesture with warmth, an unspoken bond of mutual respect between king and subject. They relied on him for protection, and he would not fail them. King Eryndor was not only a ruler, but a scholar, a wizard, and a warrior. He had honed all three disciplines for millennia. If anyone could uncover the truth behind this chaos, it was him. And his vast library, filled with both modern and forgotten knowledge, would be his first battleground. Upon entering the library, he was greeted by the ghostly attendant, Lady Libra Arian, Ari, as everyone affectionately called her. She drifted forward with a graceful bow, her translucent form shimmering like moonlit mist. Ari had once been a noblewoman, taken too soon by a tragic, magical accident in her youth. A spell gone awry at the Academy of Magic in the human realm of Zeltaria had claimed her life. She remembered little of that world now. She had served as the library's keeper for nearly as long as Eryndor had walked as a vampire. They shared a quiet fondness, an understanding between two beings who had lived far longer than fate intended. Ari always brightened when Eryndor came seeking knowledge. She was proud to serve a king who valued wisdom as deeply as she did. Eryndor approached with a smirk tugging at his lips. "Hello, milady. How are the books behaving today?" Ari returned the smirk with a soft chuckle.
The same as always, my lord. How may I be of service?
He hesitated, brushing a speck of dust from his finely tailored shirt. "Well, you see..." He trailed off, struggling to find the right words. Ari stepped in gently.
Why don't you start at the beginning, sire?
Grateful, he nodded. Truer words have never been spoken. He relayed everything, the sightings, the strange creatures, the whispers at the edge of the veil. Ari listened intently, her expression growing more serious with each detail. When he finished, her copper eyes narrowed.
This doesn't sound good, sire.
Eryndor paused, weighing his next words. "I was hoping you could guide me to any tomes that might shed light on this." She considered for a moment.
Actually, there may be something.
With that, she vanished into the ether. Moments later, she reappeared, holding a thick, leather-bound tome.
A bit dusty,
She said, brushing it off.
but I believe this is a good place to start.
Eryndor took the book with reverence. Its cover was cracked and worn, the pages yellowed with age. He hesitated. "Is it safe to open?"
Of course.
She replied warmly.
I preserve every tome with oils and a touch of magic.
He smiled. "Thank you, Ari. I don't know what I'd do without you." She smirked.
Probably fall apart, my guess would be.
He glanced at the title. Ancient Lore and Prophecies of the Hollow. A perfect suggestion, as always. "I'll return it once I've pored through its pages," he promised, bowing slightly.
Take your time.
She called after him.
They're your books, after all.
He barely heard her. His mind was already racing as he made haste to his personal study. There, in the quiet glow of candlelight, he opened the tome and began to read. He spent several hours poring over the pages of the ancient tome. His eyes burned, his mind fogged, and he was moments away from abandoning this line of inquiry altogether when, at last, something caught his attention. A local prophecy penned many centuries ago. King Eryndor leaned closer, reading the words aloud in a low, steady voice. "When the moon passes over century's crest, and darkness meets with light's twin, the hallow loses sacred rest, and shadow spreads like vapored sin." A chill threaded down his spine. What does this mean? The phrasing tugged at something deep within him, something familiar yet maddeningly out of reach. The edges of memory refused to sharpen. If he wanted answers, he would have to search the deeper recesses of his mind, places only magic could reach. He exhaled slowly. "Every window leads to another doorway," he murmured, repeating an old wizard's proverb. Closing the tome, he rose from his chair with renewed purpose. The spell he needed was not one to be cast lightly. Preparation was essential, and there was only one place suited for such work. Eryndor left the study and strode toward his tower of thaumaturgy, a solitary spire where he could focus without interruption, where ancient wards kept both danger and distraction at bay. For now, he had a lead, a small thread, perhaps, but a thread worth pulling. A king's duty never ends, he chuckled under his breath. With the tome tucked beneath his arm, he moved silently through the corridors, each step echoing with purpose. Whatever this prophecy meant, whatever truth lay buried in his forgotten memories,